Alright guys, so at this point I got the radiator mounted, and what we're going to do is start kind of fitting for the intercooler piping. I bought the whole kit that comes with like two C's, two 45s, two 90s, two straights. It'd be nice if the two C's actually fit, but they never do, so we're basically cutting it and trying to make it fit. At this point I've got this cut, I need to cut one over here somewhere. And you always want to kind of make sure that you're kind of getting it square, so when that hose or the adapter bolts to it, that it's going to be square with it, and get a good grip. And so the way we cut this is just a simple miter saw. I believe that's what you call it, with a regular blade. Works really easy. You just want to make sure you line it up, you mark it well. The way that I mark it is I use electrical blue tape. Blue painter's tape. And I basically tape off the edges wherever I want it cut, and that's the way I cut it. So let's move forward. Alright guys, once you've got your cuts and you're making everything kind of fit or whatever, before you install this thing, make sure that you burr down the edges with a file of some sort, because not only will that be hard to get it inside the coupler, you don't want metal shavings coming off and getting inside to the intake. Also, you want to make sure to blow everything out, but everything seems to be fitting good so far. We're all lining up pretty good here, so it's working out, as you can see. We just got to get everything bolted together, so let's move forward. Okay, so you can see the intercooler is officially mounted. I'm not going to go over a lot of the mounting because my mounting is going to be different from what you guys are probably doing, because I have to make my own front support, which it's going to be based off of, or you guys are probably just going to be cutting out a rectangle out of the bottom of your fiberglass to fit this up in it. So as you can see, for me, I just did an L-shaped bracket across the very top, 2 bolts through the top, and then there will be 2 lower brackets I'll custom fab to make as well. As far as the piping, it was a real pain, I can tell you that, but I was able to figure it out. Here's it going in. You can look over the top, see it coming in down there, and splits into the intake, and then going out, you can see it. This was kind of difficult because, again, this supercharger is a left-hand, I believe they call it a left-hand exit, or a right-hand exit would have been a lot easier if the snail was going the other way and coming straight down, but it wasn't, because this kit was made for it to go that way. So anyways, you can see it kind of going down and then out and over. And then there it is there. So actually pretty good fitment. It took a while to figure it out, but I got it all out. Now basically what I do is I got to clamp everything down, and I still have to weld bungs for the blow-off valve here, and I'll have to make this one fit for the IAT sensor below. So that's kind of the next step, so let's go ahead and move forward. Alright, as you can see, everything's clamped on. Everything but this one last section here, and the only reason it's not, because again we got to weld these bunks on, but also we have some work to do on these radiator hose. So let's go ahead and move forward. Alright, so for the next step, we actually have to move the evap canister a little bit farther over. You can see the old mounting points right there. They're about 1 inch too far in now with the new intercooler piping in, so we have to make some new holes to mount it just like so. So let's go ahead and move forward. So what I've done is I made a template off the old one, and I'm simply going to move it over 1 inch and drill 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and bolt it back in. Alright guys, it's back in and mounted, nice and solid, doesn't move at all, so that works. We're going to go ahead and move forward. We got to get our radiator fan back in here before we get the rest of the piping in. Alright guys, so the radiator fan is back in, but not without problems. I couldn't plumb the piping with it in there, it was just too close. So I ended up having to change all that, as you can see here. It's changed just a little bit, not a whole lot, but I had to angle it slightly different so it wouldn't hit that fan. The front's pretty similar, there's not a whole lot different, but there you have it. Oh, and also to do it, I had to take out the coolant reservoir. So it'll go back in, but that's kind of where we're at now. Let's go ahead and move forward. Alright guys, so here is the front bumper support that I have made. I'm not really going to go into detail on this just because 99% of you won't be having to do this. Because again, you could mount, or basically modify your fiberglass one. But I just wanted to give you a screenshot of kind of what it looked like and how I did it. The only difference I made, obviously I had to make sure my rear plates were aligned with each other with a level. And now they're one piece, basically it's all welded together. So they used to be separate, so those are all one piece now. But you can kind of get an idea of what I did. Now the rear is 1 inch square tubing. The front actually is galvanized conduit is what it is. So, and it's cheap. So the reason I chose that, the other unit is fiberglass, and it's, a lot of people don't know, they're made to give out before your frame takes the impact. So They're not super stiff, so I use the conduit thin metal, which will crush back in under a heavier load. It will not affect its accident, or shouldn't affect its accident. So this is what it looks like. I'm about to get the intercooler put back in. Okay, so there's the intercooler back and installed where it's supposed to be. It's got a little bit of damage. And I'm gonna kind of get into it with you, tell you guys kind of what's going on with this build. It's a super frustrating build, so if these videos are jumbled up or confusing some points, I apologize. It's because every single thing I have ordered for this project next to the main Supercharger since I bought it locally has been lost, broken, damaged, or wrong. And I kid you not, every single thing I've bought. Some of that my fault, it's part of the learning curve. A lot of it from the sellers or FedEx losing things, or like this intercooler came damaged, as you can see, and it's not 3-inch in and out, it's 2 3/4. The manufacturer, the reseller, well, it wasn't their fault because the box is supposed to be for the 3-inch, but it came wrong, so that's waiting to get replaced. But everything, that's actually the reason there's 2 different fuel system setups I show you how to do. It's just been an absolute nightmare, but we're moving forward. You know, things happen. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or what, so we're trying to make things the best we can. So again, I apologize if anything's kind of jumbled up. I'm doing my best. It's far harder to do the video than it even is do the work, so kind of FYI there. But there's a radiator anyways installed, so let's go ahead and move forward. Okay guys, I want to give you one more update with the kit. I decided to do something a little bit different with the idle air control valve. We had just a filter on it before. The problem is these always go bad, and if they get stuck open, your boost is going to leak out. So I couldn't but help thinking, am I losing boost here? And I noticed that my IAC valve wasn't closing all the way. So basically what I did was I got a shark bite. You can see here it's a 1 to 3/4. It's kind of odd sizing because really it's more like 3/4 to 5/8. And I got a grommet here, much like this one here. And what we did was we ran a 3/4 inch tube from here, and you can see we fitted that down into the lower pipe. So the hose is going to run right to there. That way we don't have to worry about losing boost, because if it does leak out, it's going right back into the intercooler. Not only to mention that, intercooler is going to be charging this side, so we know that we're getting equal pressure of boost on this side as well. So that's just it. Quick update. Okay, so here we are. Everything's all done. Bumper's put back on. I went ahead and ordered a Mishimoto intercooler this time. So I couldn't figure it out. We got everything together. And again, mind you, this video's been pieced together, so this is about a month later. But we got everything pieced together. I couldn't figure out I wasn't building boost. And then I realized after doing some checking out, I put a straight tube instead of this intercooler in, or the old intercooler, and boost jumped right up to 7.5 pounds. So immediately we figured out that the intercooler was bad. So it just goes to show you, don't buy any of the cheap Chinese junk that you find on eBay, because it's not doing you any favors. I only bought it because of the size that it was. I thought it was a perfect size, where this Mishimoto is slightly smaller, but it is 3-inch in and out, which is what we need. So I went ahead and mounted that, and then modifications to all the tubing, a couple different changes. Turns out I can't weld aluminum no matter what I buy or how I try, so it's kind of consistent throughout these videos. Anyhow, I went ahead and bought a coupler instead that had the flange built in for the blow-off valve. So we got that mounted in, and then obviously on the bottom side is the bung we got stuck in there. You can see the IAC pipe still going there. It's connected now up to the Y and back to the intake. So that's pretty much everything for the intercooler piping. So that's a wrap for this video. As I always say, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Any comments, leave them below, and I appreciate you coming. Stick around for the next episode. Thanks.